Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirana here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I have a question for you. What do you think of when you think of the term self-care? So often when people hear the term self-care, they think spa days. They're like, oh, massages, pedicures, pampering yourself. And while self-care can be those things, when I think of self-care, I think of it as the actions that we take to intentionally maintain our well-being, the well-being of our body, mind, heart, and soul. It's not about luxury, it's about wellness. With that being said, self-care can look different person to person. What I do to intentionally take care of myself might be different than what you need to do to take care of yourself. Today, I thought I'd share with you my 8 favorite self-care habits. Some of them might work for you, some of them might not, but at the very least, they might inspire you to create some better self-care habits for yourself. My number 1 top self-care habit is healthy eating. Am I perfect? No. But I make a point of limiting processed foods, making whole foods from scratch, doing most of my cooking from scratch. I very rarely go out to dinner. Definitely never, I won't say never. I can't remember the last time that I ate any sort of fast food. Preparing healthy meals from scratch is one of the best things that I do to take care of myself. My second favorite habit is taking baths. And you might think, oh, that sounds luxurious, bubble baths, candles. Very rarely do I get out the candles, but I do find that soaking in a tub at night just relaxes my body, lets me release stress, and sets me up for a very good night's sleep. If you don't have a bathtub, probably the next best thing would be to take a shower in a bathroom with the lights dimmed. So don't have the lights full bore. Go in with it dim, take a nice warm shower, maybe put on some nice smelling or like lavender scented oil, and then head to bed. My next habit is journaling. I struggle with journaling. I am not great at it, but when I do get in like a period of time where I'm journaling regularly, it feels really good. Sometimes I use journaling to work through something. So maybe if something has upset me or I'm worried about something, writing it out can sometimes help me process. Recently, I've started journaling in a way, for gratitude, but also maybe to slow time a little bit. And the inspiration of this journal is essentially like, you remember like the daily diaries that we'd get when you were a kid that give you like this much space to write in what you did that day? I try to journal as often as possible, not every day, so maybe a couple times a week, especially if I've done something interesting, unique, spent time with people, had fun. I write just 1 or 2 sentences about what I did, who I was with, and how it made me feel, and maybe like why I'm glad I did it. Some combination of that. Just a couple sentences just to remind myself of all the good things that I have in my life. The next self-care habit actually comes from Ayurveda. It is a oil massage, a self-oil massage, or an oil self-massage. Whatever order you want to put the words. In Ayurveda, they call it Abhyanga. Essentially, I have in my bathroom, and I think I've showed this to you before in other videos, like a butter warmer that you would use, when you're eating lobster. It's got like a little porcelain pot with a tea light in the bottom. I put some oil in it, light the tea light for like a minute just to warm up the oil, and then take some time to massage my body with that oil. So really working into the skin. It moisturizes the skin, it loosens up the muscles, allows me to relax. Sometimes I do it before a shower, sometimes I do it after. It really sort of depends. If I'm really going to massage and use a lot of oil, I do it before the shower. If I'm just doing a little light massage, I'll do it after. You can play around and see what works best for you, but I highly recommend it. If you know me, you are probably not going to be surprised at the next one, which is yoga. To me, yoga is the perfect form of exercise, at least for me. If you're doing sun salutations, you get a bit of an aerobic workout. If you're doing warriors or chaturanga or planks, you're getting some resistance training. And then when you get on the floor and we do forward fold and butterfly pose, we get a nice stretch to the muscles. So I feel like it's a very well-rounded form of exercise. And next, meditation. You cannot go wrong with a little bit of meditation in your day, and I really wish everybody would do it. I feel like it calms people down, helps us get a little bit more in touch with our emotions, and just makes us feel a little more empathetic and connected to everybody. Now, my meditation is not a long 20-minute meditation every day. Often I meditate in very small, like bite-sized pieces whenever I feel I need to. So often in the morning, when I get up, I get showered, I get dressed, and then I will sit on my footboard of my bed and meditate for maybe even just a minute, just a few breaths, sort of like centering myself, calming myself down, maybe picturing the day if I have something special going on. And then throughout the day, if I get a moment where I find myself feeling kind of hectic, like my brain's bopping around, I just take a moment, sit, close my eyes, take a few breaths. Meditation does not have to be long involved. You don't have to be sitting in lotus position. You can simply close your eyes and take a few breaths and focus inward. And that's meditation. The next self-care habit I'm going to mention, for many people, might not sound like self-care, and that is decluttering and simplifying my home and my life in reality. Our homes should be our sanctuary, not our storage units. Things should look nice and be calm. Clutter, it stresses the brain. So over the last several years, I have made an effort to slowly decrease the amount of stuff I have. I've gotten rid of a ton of stuff in our house. You wouldn't walk in and say, ooh, she's minimalist, because we still have a lot of stuff. But I feel the house works for us. My kitchen is simplified. It's set up to work for me. I know where everything is and it's easy to get to. I don't have to dig through dishes to find the one bowl that I want. My wardrobe is fairly simple. I don't have a lot of extraneous clothes that I have to dig through to find the shirt I'm looking for. When you simplify and reduce the amount of stuff in your house, you just feel better. You feel calmer. Like life just seems easier, and cleaning the house is easier, which also means you have more time to do stuff that you want to do without feeling guilty, without this nagging silent to-do list of all the things that you should be doing in your house. You actually have time to just do what you want. And then that brings me to the last one, which is my hobbies. Because I have a fairly simplified life, I can do hobbies. Now, anybody who knows me might say, well, Tracy, it's because you don't work out of the home. And yes, that does play into it, but I can tell you, even while I was working, I still had a fairly simplified home, and I still was able to find time to do things I love. Now, yes, maybe I can do it a little bit more now, but that doesn't mean that you can't still find time for the hobbies that you love. Myself, I love to read, so I read all the time. I love to sit down and read, but I also listen to audiobooks so that I can still be up doing stuff. I can be doing laundry, I can be cleaning the kitchen, I can be vacuuming with my earbuds in, I can be mowing the lawn and listening to a book. So you can find ways, right? You can read just about anywhere. I also love to play around with watercolors. I'm not good at it. It's just for fun. It makes me happy. I love cooking. I love trying new recipes. That is fun. That to me is a hobby. And also, while this might be a less than stellar hobby, because we can all get caught on our screens, going through TikTok or YouTube shorts. But I love finding inspirational people to follow on YouTube and then spending a little bit of time with them every few days, watching a video and feeling inspired. I hope watching this video has inspired you to think about your self-care practices and maybe take them up a notch, start a new one, do something every day intentionally to make yourself feel balanced, body, mind, heart, and soul.